Some problem with the screen. Background arrangement is, going on. Sorry for the technical. Yeah. Fine. So let's begin our session with prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandrodaya Ki Jai Shri Shri Gauranga Ki Jai Shri Radha Ki Jai Jai Lord Premanande. Welcome to the Sunday morning session on Science of Self-Realization. And today we're going to have a discussion on a new topic. Protecting oneself from illusion. The topic. So it's a very interesting topic. This is actually a letter exchange between Prabhupada and one of the well-wishers of Iskcon in America. So one lady, she happened to meet few devotees, doing Sankirtan and doing book distribution. Now, Iskcon during 1970s in America, Prabhupada engaged the young Americans who came to follow the path of bhakti in a way that they used to go for street Sankirtan. And also, they used to go and distribute books. So that was the way the young American boys and girls were engaged by Prabhupada in his movement. So this particular person, American lady, she seems to be a little disturbed with the way the devotees were behaving with her or interacting with her. Right? She was not very happy with the way the devotees spoke to her, and maybe they are persuasive with regard to purchase the books, all these things. So she was not. So it was not a pleasant experience for her. So she wrote a letter to Prabhupada telling that your disciples had to be corrected. They cannot be, like this. It's very harsh. So for that, Prabhupada responded. So in this wonderful exchange of an American lady writing a letter to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada giving the background of Krishna consciousness through this letter, is a very wonderful exchange. Because sometimes we come across people in society wherein they are very skeptical, and also they are very much particular about the behavior of the sadhus, right? So Prabhupada gives a wonderful perspective in this matter. Let's get into details. So this is the title of the topic today: protecting oneself from illusion. And all these wonderful sessions we're having by the inspiration of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who very mercifully has given us the teachings in a recorded form for our utility and also to follow them in our day-to-day life. So we owe a great sense of gratitude to Prabhupada for his wonderful contribution. So in his letter to Lini Ludwig, Srila Prabhupada asks, kindly forgive my beloved disciples for any unkindness or indiscretion on their part. After all, to give up one's life completely for serving the Lord is not an easy thing. And Maya, or the illusory material energy, tries especially hard to again entrap those who have left her service to become devotees. They have become a little detached from Maya's love or lust, and they want Krishna's love or endless, fully rewarding love. But they have not yet developed to that point, that's all. Just a preamble. This particular aspect we're going to discuss later in our sessions. But Prabhupada is, this exchange of letters between Prabhupada and one of the American citizens. So this is the letter from Lini Ludwig. I gave the background. Later also will speak more about that. So she's writing, Your Grace, please accept this letter with love from San Fernando, the place from where she's writing this letter. We have talked with two of your boys at different times. Both had a very negative outlook toward the people they meet. Do not believe this in any way as it should be. These boys happen to represent God. This comes from within. Their outlook must have mercy. We realize this, therefore, handpick these little pieces of heaven to place in the middle of these people, or else it will defeat your purpose. So basically, she's trying to tell that when we interact with your American youth, they seem to have a negative outlook about life. They seem to be very much not in line with the normal way of people's living with regard to their dressing or their lifestyle or their desires, right? It's like, any ordinarily any person will have so many ambitions and plans and desires to fulfill in his life. But your disciples doesn't seem to have that very forthcoming and very positive frame of mind the way other people have. And also their interaction looks like with us not so pleasant. That's what she's trying to express in this letter. And she further says, love is, let it be as it is, with love or not at all. My prayers be with you, and I beg yours with me. Yours in God, blessed be Lini Ludwig. Right? So this is a very short letter she has written to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada responds to that letter. Right? We'll see the response in two portions, this session and the next session, having session. So because a lot of philosophical aspects are there to discuss in this particular letter. So let's go slow. So Prabhupada, first of all, acknowledges receipt of the letter from Lini Ludwig. And she says, yes, the letter from California I have received. I have noted the contents carefully. Although due to extensively traveling and preaching in a tour in India, I have not had the opportunity to reply to you at length until now. Right? Until now, I didn't get any time to respond because I was busy in traveling in India for many preaching engagements. Right? One important thing which you can notice here is, the way Prabhupada is wording the whole thing. Prabhupada doesn't say he is busy. Rather, he's saying due to extensively traveling and preaching in a tour in India, I didn't have, opportunity to respond to you. Very refined way of response, Prabhupada's way of writing things, articulating, things. Mhm. So first of all, he's, giving his blessings because that's what she is also sought for. My dear Lini Ludwig, please accept my blessings. Then further. And your complaint is that you have met two of my young disciples in California, and they appear to you to have a very negative outlook toward the people they meet. Right? Looks like the two disciples, my American disciples whom you met, your observation is that they seem to have a very negative outlook toward the people they meet. Of course, I do not know the case and what the circumstances are, but kindly forgive my beloved disciples for any unkindness or indiscretion on their part. So basically, Prabhupada was that personality in the organization who started the movement in America, and people knew that this elderly person is the person who has begun the movement. So anybody had any such comments or any complaints, they used to write letters. That was how the earlier way of communication was. So Prabhupada is, first of all, telling that I don't know the circumstances under which you have this particular comment, but whatever it is, forgive my disciples. Forgive my beloved disciples for the unkindness or indiscretion on their part. Maybe they are too rude with you or people around, people whom you have observed. So please forgive for their improper behavior. So now Prabhupada is going to explain very nicely, taking the instructions from Bhagavad Gita and scriptures, how whatever situation all of us are constantly attacked by Maya all the time. So after all, to give up one's life completely for serving the Lord is not an easy thing. It's a very wonderful statement Prabhupada is making. To dedicate oneself to serve Krishna is not an easy thing. It's not an ordinary thing. Because all of us are busy with so many activities in our life. Right? All of us are engaged with our family, with our business, with our occupation. Right? Everybody is busy with their own life. Politicians are busy in their own circle. So like that, each of us have our own engagements. To give up those engagements and surrender to Krishna, dedicate your life to Krishna, is not easy. This is what Prabhupada is trying to tell. Towards the Bhagavad Gita's conclusion, Krishna recommends Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Praja. Give up all other engagements, just surrender to me. Seems to be a very heavy and demanding statement from Krishna. But this is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that you have to surrender to God. Otherwise, your life will be filled with problems. This is the recommendation Krishna is giving. So how and why it is so, we will see as we move forward in our discussions. So first point Prabhupada makes is, the disciples of my disciples who have given up everything and they are completely serving the Lord. This stage of life or this type of life is not an easy thing. Everybody cannot do this. So let us first appreciate this. Prabhupada is not siding his disciples. Rather, he's trying to bring in the philosophical aspect of what is Krishna consciousness and what is actually devotee's life. In a very logical, scientific manner, Prabhupada is going to explain. And now, next Prabhupada says, and Maya, or the illusory material energy, tries especially hard to again entrap those who have left her service to become devotees. It's a very wonderful, again, statement Prabhupada is making. Actually, all of us are under the clutches of Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very clearly says that all of us are conducted by the Maya energy in the form of three modes of nature. We are under the spell of three modes of nature. This is our situation. Spell means we have forgotten our real identity as spirit soul. Spell means like some magic happens. A magician will make you hypnotize you and forget your identity. You may be a student, but he'll make you forget that you're a student and you will behave in a different way. That is what Maya's work is. As spirit souls, we have an identity as a sincere servant of Krishna. This identity is made to be covered by the covering potency of Maya, called Avaranatmak Shakti. And she will bewilder us to think that we are somebody else. This is called illusion. And this illusion is happening not only with me, but everybody around me. Everybody is thinking that I am not spirit soul, I am body. And different identifications with the body. Man, woman, I am beautiful, I am ugly, I am intelligent, I am poor, I am rich, I belong to this community. I guess we are going on in our life. Life after life, taking different identifications. This is how Maya has kept us in her custody since long. And when you want to serve Krishna, surrender to Krishna, give up this life of identifications, basically false identifications, and awaken to our real identification as servant of Krishna. This means that you are coming out of the clutches of Maya, coming out of the grip of Maya. So, in one of the instructions, Prabhupada says, when you want to serve Krishna, it is like you are declaring war against Maya. Yes, see. So, war means both the parties want to see that they win. And Maya is very powerful. Krishna confirms this in Bhagavad Gita because it is his energy. Maya also is one of his energies. So she is very powerful, not easy to overcome. But we, in our life, constantly are endeavoring to win over Maya in various ways. One example, every day we're getting old, but we are fighting how I can keep myself healthy, young, and not die or prolong my death. But we'll be struggling like this whole life. But one day you have to give up. When actually Maya decides, yes, over, then you have to give up. That's what the struggle is going on. So, taking up devotion to Krishna is like declaring war against Maya. And Maya, as Prabhupada says, will try hard to again entrap those who have left her service to become devotees. Right? She's trying very hard. Therefore, in order to withstand the attack of Maya and remain strong under all conditions of temptation, right? So, once we have decided, a person has decided, okay, I want to dedicate my life to the service of Krishna. I want to become devotee of Krishna. Then it is like, you want to be protective about your situation. Right? So that's what is happened with these disciples. So in order to withstand the attack of Maya, they know I will be again attacked by Maya means again, I'll get under this illusory way of life. of, I belong to a family, all these things. Yes, their identities may be okay in their positions, in their respective situations. But right now, I want to continue as a devotee of Krishna. Right? There will be many allurements, many temptations again and again, pulling me back. So one energy of Maya is called the covering potency, called Avaranatmaka Shakti. One more potency of Maya is that she will again, come up in our consciousness and say, what are you doing? Why are you chanting? Why are you reading Bhagavad Gita? No, come, have a nice cricket match is going on. Let us watch a cricket match. Let us enjoy this, sense gratification. These temptations. This is called pulling energy of Maya. It's called Prakshepatmika Shakti. So Maya works in two ways. She covers our real knowledge of what we are, but also she tries to keep pulling us back to her, so that we are under her trap always. And these two ways she is constantly working. So we have to overcome these two forces of Maya. That is what a devotee's life is. Therefore, in order to withstand the attack of Maya and remain strong under all conditions of temptations, sometimes young or inexperienced devotees in the neophyte stage of devotional service will sometimes adopt an attitude against those things or persons that may possibly be harmful or threatening to their tender devotional creepers. So basically, it is like you have, you've seen small kids. You give them some toy, and they are playing very attached to the toy. And if somehow you want to take away the toy, they feel threatened, and rather they feel they want to see how to protect their toy. So they will do everything to see that the toy is within their custody. They may cry, they may do a lot of other type of actions. Right. So similarly, you see this behavior very much in animals also, with regard to defending themselves with regard to either their basic necessities of life as food or shelter or like that. So devotees also, because they have come under the shelter of Krishna, they want to take up devotional service, and because they are not so experienced in the bhakti in the initial stages, Prabhupada says this is neophyte stage. Neophyte means beginning stage of devotional service. So they seems to be overprotective against the harmful or threatening aspects which may otherwise hinder their devotional service. Right? So this is very natural, Prabhupada wants to say, right? Because they are young and inexperienced, so they are not, mature enough to handle things in a proper way. So their behavior seems to be very protective. At least I remember in the beginning stages of my journey as a missionary, when I decided to become a full-time missionary, when my parents used to come and wanted to see me, I used to tell, no, I don't want to see you. Because I was under the impression that, if I meet them, they may again influence me and I may have to again go back to home. Right? So like this, because, you're not meeting your parents, the parents used to complain. Right? So attitude of the person in the beginning stage, inexperienced stage, may look like having a negative outlook, or looks like, because they think that, my devotional service will be threatened or harmed. Right? That's the point. Okay. They may even overindulge in such feelings just to protect themselves, and thus they will appear to some non-devotees who are perhaps themselves still very much enamored with the material energy of Maya to be negative or pessimistic. Very nicely articulated by Prabhupada. So the devotees are trying to protect their devotion, and the other person who is actually not a devotee, non-devotee, he may think, what is this person doing? Why is he trying to, become so negative and so pessimistic like this? Because he's already in Maya. The person who is not a devotee is already fully absorbed in the different identifications with his life, and life's going on very good for that person. That's what it is. The difference between a devotee and not a devotee, non-devotee, right? Material and spiritual difference. So Prabhupada further says how we should view this material life, material world around us. What should be our vision? But the actual fact is that this material world is a miserable, negative place, full of danger at every step. Right? So this is the statement from scriptures. Bhagavatam, it is said, Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Na Tesham. This material world is a place of misery. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita. Every step, the Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. It's a place of misery and it is temporary place. Even though it is miserable, you may think, oh, I may adjust something and I will improve things. No, you will not stay for long. That is what this place is. And dangers at every step. There is one more, the nature of this material world. It is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam and temporary abode of death, birth, disease and old age, a home of suffering and pain only. To come to the platform of understanding these things as they are is not very common. And therefore, persons who attain to it are described as great souls. This is a statement in Bhagavad Gita. So realize the reality of life or the naked truth of life, which is not ordinarily not visible in people. People don't, take these things in life like birth, old age, disease, death as serious. No, they are common, natural things happening in our life, people think. But for devotees, these very aspect of birth, death, old age, disease, they become important problems in life. This is what Krishna says. Unless you are, you become aware and you realize this aspect. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, as aspect of knowledge, as what? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanu. Basically, he says that unless you have this attitude, proper disposition towards the occurrences in our life which we are going through as disease, old age, and one day you have to die. What is the solution for these problems? I will again take birth. So these are real problems of life, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Right? So this, for most of the people in the material world, these problems don't strike. Right? I'll just recall one incident from Mahabharata, when Yaksha asks Yudhisthira Maharaj, what is the most wonderful thing in this world? For which Yudhisthira Maharaj says, everybody is dying every moment. Our near and dear ones all have passed away. But even then, I, who is still living, think I will not die. This is the biggest wonder. Right? We are in illusion, thinking that I will not die or I will live forever. So this type of illusory conception of life, illusory bodily conception of life is what is Maya's way of working. Maya has captured us this way, right? So this is what Prabhupada is telling. This aspect of reality of life, of old age, birth, disease, death, to come to this level of understanding, it is not very common thing. People just go on in life. Life's going on. Like one more example Prabhupada gives about the goats taken for slaughtering. One goat is taken and it is slaughtered in front of other goats. Other goats are hardly bothered. They are all busy munching the green grass they have. Like that, somebody is diseased, somebody is dying. So for us, for a person who doesn't have this awakened understanding, he may think, okay, life is like this only. We're going to die one day. It is like, Prabhupada says, they are like exactly like goats, animals. If humans are also tied up like this, and one after another they're being slaughtered, what the other humans will think? They're all in great distress. I want to save my life. But you're not even bothered, which means your consciousness has so much degraded. That's the point. So, this understanding that the problems of life, we need to solve them, we need to come out of them, to come to this platform of understanding, Prabhupada says, is not common. And people who have come to this platform, they are not ordinary people, they are great souls. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. This means that those who have understood that the material world are places of misery and temporality, never return here again. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So, Krishna is giving a statement in the Bhagavad Gita that those who have understood that this material world's nature is that it is place of misery and a temporary place, they don't want to come back again here. They want to go to the spiritual world, which is eternal and full of bliss. And because they are Mahatmanaha, great souls, Krishna keeps them with him because they have qualified themselves to escape this nasty place by becoming his pure devotees. It's exactly the message of Bhagavad Gita. Don't remain in the material world, continuing your cycle of birth and death. Awaken to this understanding that you are spirit soul, you belong to this spiritual world, eternal world, where there is no birth, death, old age, disease. Vaikuntha means Vigata Kuntha. Vigata means no, and Kuntha means anxiety. No anxiety. Whereas material world, full of anxiety, every step, danger at every step. So our heart's desire is to be always happy. There should be no anxiety. Our heart's hankering is that. But somehow right now we got entangled here. That is the problem. So we have to come out of this entanglement. Come out of this, darkness. Come to the path of light. What Bhagavad Gita is telling us. So we need to escape this cycle of birth and death. Qualify ourselves. The qualification is to become devotees, to perform devotional service to Krishna. Right? So this is the message, the whole Bhagavad Gita, that we have to awaken to the platform of devotional service and relieve ourselves from this nasty place, Prabhupada says, by becoming pure devotees. This verse is spoken by Krishna or God himself in the Bhagavad Gita 8.15. Who can be a more final authority? Right? If this is not the purpose of life, what else is the purpose of life? And Krishna being the supreme authority, the supreme personality of Godhead, he is declaring this. Very important statement in Bhagavad Gita. The point is that to make advancement in spiritual life, one must view everything material with a pessimistic eye unless it is utilized to serve and please Krishna. Right? People may be very proud of different type of advancements they are having, or different types of arrangements they're trying to do. Hoping that in the future, it will be better, this will be better. Now, the connectivity is not that great with terms of road connectivity. Now, the new government will do wonderful connections. We can very quickly travel. Like this, we are always trying to, better our material way of life. Right? This is way we are trying to move forward in our journey of life. But thing is, whatever big arrangements you do in this material world, how long, how many years you're going to stay? Right? So this type of a pessimistic vision is important. It's called negative outlook. Right? So the Vedic way of seeing things or perceiving things is to have a long-term vision. Shreya, it is called. Shreya means, what is the ultimate goal I have to reach? I am not settled with some short-term immediate sensations, immediate some gratifications. That is called Priya. Very nice example is given by Prabhupada. He says how children, are always busy in playing. And the parents tell them, oh, enough of playing, now go and study. But the children want to again play. So the children have the short-term, gratification. Oh, it is very pleasurable for me. A long-term understanding of what parents are seeing, oh, this child doesn't study, it will not have a good life. That is lacking. Likewise, in our journey of life as spirit soul, we have been changing bodies after bodies. Our goal should be how to stop this repetition of birth and death. How to stop getting any more body, because body means it's a punishment. Body means, as Prabhupada says, an embarrassment. You go to jail is an embarrassment, no? Go to prison. Likewise, when we, as spirit souls, get a material body, it is an embarrassment for us. So anything which will further keep you imprisoned in this body, that is, should be seen from a negative outlook, from a pessimistic point of view. Right? If any activity which can help me to relieve myself from this bodily conception of life, that should be taken as opportunity to liberate myself. That's what Prabhupada says. Unless any opportunity in the material world is utilized to serve and please Krishna, everything else should be seen as pessimistic. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I don't want great wealth. I don't want big position. I don't want followers. I don't want, to enjoy with opposite sex. It's what people are hankering for. They want wealth, they want power, they want position, they want people. They want to enjoy with opposite sex. People are running behind these things. Right? So whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, all these things will only further entangle me. Krishna, I only want your service. Even though I don't get liberation, I don't bother. Life after life, in any situation, any condition, please give me your service only. Just see. This should be the attitude, or this should be the disposition in our consciousness. It's called advancement in spiritual life. So long this type of understanding is not awakened in our consciousness, we'll continue to go on, maybe this life, in one specific place, specific country, you're doing something, previous life, you have something else. Like this, we keep changing our positions and our responsibilities life after life. Life will go on. Called Nitya Baddha, ever conditioned life. This is not our actual situation. This is going to frustrate us every now and then in our situations of life. So this is not our actual life, because spirit soul's real engagement is to have a free, liberated life. We are not very much hopeful for any lasting pleasure or satisfaction for our deepest cravings within the realm of gross matter. Again, a very, statement Prabhupada is making, very philosophical statement Prabhupada is making. Because in the material world, people are very hopeful. The Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj says, Durashaya, hoping against hope. Oh, this will make me happy, this will make me happy, this will make me happy. Right? But they don't know all the different hopes and aspirations which you keep in the material world will be finally frustrated. You'll be disappointed. This is the situation with take any example. Because we have a lot of hopes for enjoying this material world in one way or the other. But the result outcome will be something else. But actually, as spirit souls, our hankering for real pleasure is something which, we always want. We are looking for Satchidananda. The Prabhupada is terming this as our deepest cravings. You have to understand this philosophical point very nicely. As spirit souls, our nature is Satchidananda. We have this nature of being in eternal existence, Sat. We want to have complete understanding, complete knowledge, full knowledge, Chit. And Ananda. Ananda means bliss, joy. But we are put in a situation right now wherein our existence is not permanent. Take this body. How long it will live? 60, 70 years. Then we are fully ignorant about our own body and things around us. And always in miserable situation, Nirananda. So Asat, Achit, Nirananda. So we're put in a contrary situation. But the deepest craving of our spirit soul is what? Eternal existence, full of knowledge and full bliss. So in this gross matter, whatever you search, this world, material world, whatever way you search, you're looking for all these things, but you're not getting it. Right? So that is the problem in this material world. Because you can't get it. It's not available here. The example of fish out of water is given. Fish is out of water. It may want to be happy, or it may be kept very comfortably in an AC, air-conditioned room, or given all comforts like how we think is very good. But fish will not be happy at all unless it goes back to the water. Likewise, our nature as Sachidananda is spiritual. Unless we go back to our spiritual nature, spiritual existence, no matter whatever elaborate arrangements you make from the material perspective, will not satisfy us. So Prabhupada says, will not have any lasting pleasure or satisfaction for the deepest cravings we have. In the gross matter, you cannot get that actual happiness. Right? So further Prabhupada says, how right now we are captivated. In what way we are captivated? The whole world is captivated or spinning around this sex life. If you know, our real hankering of the heart is to have spiritual pleasure, spiritual satisfaction. But what is that it is holding us back? Prabhupada explains. The actual problem is our desire to enjoy sexually. You refer to the word love. Prabhupada is referring to that letter of that lady wherein she is referring the word love several times in your letter. But the actual fact is that there is no love in the material world. Right? So, Prabhupada is saying actually there is no such thing as love. What we see in the material world is something different. That is false propaganda. What they call love here is lust only, or desire for personal self-gratification. Very important revelation Prabhupada is making. In the material world, people think, I love you, I love my family, I love my country. The real understanding of love means love should be unconditional. Just want to serve the other person, just want to satisfy the other person's expectations, intentions. But here, our love is very conditional. That's why it is called lust. Prabhupada says, here it is lust. Why? Because each of us have a motive, we have an agenda, a desire for personal sense gratification. So how it can become love? A very good example of a semblance of pure love is the mother taking care of a child. Very child born, and mother is unconditionally serving the child. Some semblance is there. But as the children grow up, mother in her own world, children in her own world, all that love and all is gone. Right? So this is what the material world is. But our hankering from the heart, from the soul, is that I want to experience this real love. Right? People talk about love. So this love and lust is very nicely, elaborately discussed in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that prema to him is what is the highest. But right now, what we have is kama, lust, sense gratification, personal sense gratification, desires. There's a statement in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Kam esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidhyena miha. Krishna tells Arjuna, his disciple, it is lust only which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. Right? So this is a statement Krishna makes very nicely, boldly, that it is lust only, Arjuna. It is all-devouring sinful enemy. Mahashano mahapapma vidhyena miha vairinam. It's the greatest enemy for the living entity. Means the desire for personal sense gratification is the greatest desire, greatest enemy. Why does Krishna say this? Because we constitutionally are supposed to be serving Krishna. It's like the different parts of my body, they're supposed to serve my body. If they revolt and want to do independently things, then they are useless for me. Right? So we being part and parcel of Krishna, our actual situation, real situation is to serve Krishna. If this particular service to Krishna is not taken up by us, then our situation will be like, our bodily different organs not serving the body. And Krishna very mercifully maintains. So unless and until we realize this aspect, that my service to Krishna has to be revived again, you will be continuing our material existence. So Krishna, so he says, it becomes this very desire to enjoy independently becomes an enemy to you. So Krishna says, lust is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. In the Vedic language, there is no word for materialistic love, as we call it in the present day. Right? People call love, but love is all very superficial, having some agenda, some motives. The word kama describes lust or material desire, not love. But the word that we find in the Vedas for actual love is prema, meaning only one's love for God only. Prema is used only for love of God. Means only your unconditional attitude of service to Krishna. No conditions put. Outside of loving God, there is no possibility of loving. So very nicely, Prabhupada is defining the word love and lust. Love is only possible with God. Anything else other than with any other living entity, yes, if it is connected to Krishna, I can have a loving relation with other entities. But it is without Krishna, any other relation is a transaction, it is lust. Rather, there is lusty desire only in the material world. Any transaction. I want to satisfy in a particular way, you want some satisfaction in a particular way, so we come together. That's what is going on in the material world. So within this atmosphere of matter, the entire range of human activities, and not only every activity of human beings, but all living entities, is based upon, given impetus by, and thus polluted by sex desire, attraction between male and female. This is what this whole material world is. In a very nice way, Prabhupada is summarizing, or rather giving us in a nutshell, what is this material world? Right? Anything we do, any transaction we have, any type of dealing we have with anybody, it's all based on or is having an impetus with this desire of enjoyment. In fact, you may think, oh, I'm not attracted to a female, or I'm not attracted to opposite sex. And Bhagavatam explains, even the desire for, say, becoming a big man, or desiring to get name, fame, profit, adoration, all this is called subtle sex desire. Right? So like this, it's all boils down to what is known as lust. Okay, so next Prabhupada says, for that sex life, the whole universe is spinning around and suffering. That is the harsh truth. That is the reality of life. So Prabhupada is getting into details. So-called love here means that you gratify my senses, I'll gratify your senses. And as soon as that gratification stops, immediately there is divorce, separation, quarrel, and hatred. Right? We see this in every transaction between the humans. Right? As soon as my gratification is hindered, then I don't want to be with you. I want to separate from you. Right? So many things are going on under the false conception of love. Actual love means love of God, Krishna. So we'll continue our discussions in our next session, conclude this topic. So very nice, wonderful perspective Prabhupada is giving from the Vedic scriptures. How in the material world, we think, we're all doing wonderful things. We're all very happy, family, society, all, as Prabhupada often quotes, society, family, everything is made in heaven, right? People think that and go on in their life very happily. But actually, it's all our concoctions in which we are living in and think, everything is well. But we don't know what is going to be your very next life, future. In that ignorance, we are living. We'll conclude here. Anybody has any comments or any questions? You can take up now. Guptaji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nice. We are listening to chapter 7 again.
It's a very deep subject matter, basically.
Yes, certainly, yes.
Requires a lot of contemplation.
I enjoy listening to it again and again because it has to go deep inside.
Yes. Because this is the root cause of our material existence.
Very true.
If this is, addressed and we work in a direction, then we will be free from all the misconceptions sitting in our mind.
Very true.
False foundation on which the whole world is running.
Very true.
Yeah. Good. Fine. So we'll conclude here. We'll meet again next week with the, the next portion of this session and conclude the subject.